Good morning, guys. Hope you're having an amazing day. It is Ping here. Today we are in Singapore, and Singapore is also one of the best cities for food. And this was obviously identified by the famous Anthony Bourdain. He came here multiple times to film different episodes. He came here for Parts Unknown. He came here for The Layover, which was his TV show where he would go to cities for like 36 hours. He also came here for No Reservations. So what we're gonna do today is we're not gonna visit all of the places he's been to, but we're gonna try and visit some of the places he's recommended in his TV shows, and we're gonna go and follow essentially the Anthony Bourdain food trail. Now, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that we have been to places where Anthony Bourdain has eaten at. Recommended by Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain has come here. Anthony Bourdain came here. This is a place that Anthony Bourdain went to visit. We are not going to those. If you want to check those out, you can visit my Singapore playlist with all the food. But today we're gonna go and visit places that I haven't exactly shown on this channel that Anthony Bourdain did try. And I'm gonna give you guys a full review of Anthony Bourdain's food trail here in Singapore. Let's go eat. We've come to the first stop of this tour, this Anthony Bourdain food tour, and we're here at Tanglin Halt, which is a really old hawker center, and they're famous for something called a peanut pancake. Now when you think of pancakes, you think of buttery, fluffy pancakes with maple syrup on top, but in Asia, it's very different. And the ones here, they fill it with peanut. So they have two layers of dough and they put peanut in between. It's not really well kept together. As you can tell, it's really easy to just break it apart. So it's a very messy process to eat this. We're gonna try and somehow put this all together. Let's go. I have to say, when it comes to pancakes in the West or pancakes in the East, I'm going with the East. What I love about these pancakes is that there's so many textures. You have the crispiness from the outside, that like sort of burnt edge. Then you have the fluffiness from the inside, that fluffy gooey texture. Then you have the peanuts, which happens to also have sugar inside. So it does bring a lot of sweetness inside, but the fluffiness of the dough, the crispiness of the peanuts, and the sort of burnt edge on the side, it's a perfect way to start your breakfast. And as Anthony Bourdain recommended, this is definitely a breakfast food. The Asian version of a pancake, but still just as good as the Western pancake. The couple that makes these pancakes wake up every morning at 2:30 to put their heart and soul into making these dough pieces and putting in the peanuts. So they have to wake up really early, 4 times a week, to make sure that these pancakes are ready to go for the customers. And the best part is that for one slice of the pancake, which is relatively filling, it's only 80 cents, 80 Singaporean cents. That is unbelievable to imagine at such a low cost, but absolutely amazing. Shout out to this old couple that are still working every single day to bring high quality pancakes to all of Singapore. Next stop on this Anthony Bourdain food tour in Singapore is a place called 545 Whampoa Prawn Noodles. As you can probably tell, they sell prawn noodles, and just the smell of this place, it smells so good. You can smell the shrimps, you can smell the tomatoes. It just smells really good. This whole bowl, you can get it for either $4 or $5. I upsized it, got it for $5. But these noodles, you can just tell they're just covered in oil. They're topped off with like some shallots, and then you have these big shrimp that are just on the top of it. We're gonna go in, we have to try these noodles first. Oh. I totally understand why Anthony Bourdain came here. These noodles, they're so oily, so greasy, but they have so much flavor. You have the seafood flavor from the shrimp, and then you also have like that chili flavor. You have that fried garlic flavor that they put on top. Wow, these are some of the most flavorful noodles I've ever had. Let's get a shrimp. Shrimp are really fresh, really good. They slice them in half so they're not too unmanageable. So that's what I really like about the shrimp here. Really nice, really fresh. It doesn't have that like bad seafood taste. What I also want to point out is that it comes with a soup on the side, and this soup, it's a very, very dark color. It's really, really dark. It's almost like a brown, like a chocolate sort of color. But I have to go in and try out what this flavor is about. Oh, wow. That's like drinking the ocean. I mean, you can taste like the saltiness, you get seafood, you get brininess. Oh wow, and it's a little bit spicy. It's not too spicy, but wow, that soup is so good. The seafood flavor is so strong. It's like you put a bunch of like shrimp, ground it up, and then just like squeezed out the juice. That's what this tastes like. Oh, this is so, I mean, for $5, I'm sorry, Anthony Bourdain, you can judge him for all you want, but he really knows where to get good food. These bowl of noodles is just, it's amazing. The flavor is spectacular. The depth of flavor in that soup is just really, really impressive. If you come here, you have to try this. Don't miss out. The next stop in our Anthony Bourdain food tour is here at Hong Lim Market. This is one of the most famous hawker centers here in Singapore, and we've come here for the island-wide, even world-famous Outram Park Char Kway Teow. Now, what is Char Kway Teow? It's basically like fried noodles, just really, really unhealthy. And Anthony Bourdain came here in his episode of Parts Unknown and talked about, you know, how great these noodles were. I'm excited. I've heard great things about these noodles, and locals love this dish. It's currently like 2:30 in the afternoon. I had to wait in line for almost half an hour for these noodles. So this is already after the lunch rush hour. So imagine how good, how popular it must be. I can't wait anymore. Let's try this out. Oh my god. Wow. What I love about it is that it's spicy, and it's not that oily, I would say. I would say that it's a bit on the drier side compared to other char kway teows there are, but this is really, really good. It's not too oily, so I'm sure they put a lot of oil, but I'm not tasting that much of the oil. It's more of a drier type, and the ingredients are amazing. There's cockles, there's bean sprouts. I mean, I got the smallest portion for $4, but if you want to get more, I think you could easily do that. The noodles themselves, you can see that they have two types. They have the thick, broad ones, and then the thinner, like the circular ones. They're both really exceptional, but it's a really dry type of fried noodle. Not bad. I like that it's dry. It's not like a slippery, you can tell that it's fried, like fried, dry noodles. I'm still pretty impressed by the number of ingredients that they put inside. It just, you keep digging and you just find more and more secrets. Really, really worth it for $4. I mean, compared to other areas of Singapore, this is still a relatively good price point. Not only has Anthony Bourdain visited it, it's been on the Michelin guide. I mean, it's been rated time and time again by Singaporeans as some of the best fried noodles. So if you're in the area, definitely come try this out. Next stop in our Anthony Bourdain food tour is at a little local restaurant known as Chin Chin Eating House. It's near the central part of Singapore, like the Marina Bay area. So if you're in the central region, this is a really good place to go. Now, Anthony Bourdain came here and ordered many different things, but two of the things that I really wanted to try were the chicken rice and their fried pork chop. Let's start with the chicken rice. As you can see, there's one plate of rice, then they have another plate of chicken on the side. The chicken looks really nice, really juicy. What I'm gonna start out with is get some of that chili sauce, put it on top of the rice, and just try the rice out first. That chili sauce is spicy. Ooh. Is it the best chicken rice I've ever had? No. But is it a good chicken rice? Absolutely. The rice is really nice. Let's go ahead, put some of the ginger on top of the chicken and try the chicken out. Yeah, chicken is nice and smooth. Wow. The chicken is really, really like soft, really smooth, very slippery. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a really slippery piece of chicken. Oh, that's a really nice chicken. Not bad at all. I mean, I know I didn't include this in my chicken rice video, but I will say, this is a pretty good chicken rice. The chicken is really thin layered, so some of the pieces have bone in it, but overall it's just really juicy, really slippery chicken. And that chicken just melts right in your mouth. You put some of that chili, put some of that ginger in. That's really, really good meal right there. Now, what I'm most excited for, the fried Hainanese pork chop. Now, as Anthony Bourdain said, this is probably the greatest mix of all the different cultures. You can see the peas and the fries. That's clearly like a British influence. But there's this like red sauce on the side with onions. So I think I'm gonna try that one out first. It's like a tomatoey, ketchup-y, oniony sauce. Ooh, that's really, really sweet actually. That's a very sweet sauce. And I think that will go great with the fry. So I'm gonna use the fry and dip it inside that sauce. Try it out. That fry is perfect. It is fried to perfection. It almost tastes more like Western food. Honestly, like I would expect to get these fries and this sort of sauce in like a British pub or something. But let's go to the main ingredient here, the pork chop. I'm just gonna try it out on its own without the sauce first. It's not the juiciest pork chop. By no means is it even that juicy. But it's so crispy. The outside, it's fried until it's so crispy. And it's not like they added a very thick layer of batter either. You can tell the pork chop itself is very thin. The batter is also a very thin layer. Oh, that is a very, very thin pork chop, but it's done so well. Well, that's a perfect combination. I'm gonna use this and dip it inside the tomato sauce. Try it out. That right there is a winner. Come here and get the pork chop. Chicken rice is okay, it's good, but the pork chop, oh man, that crispiness and the fries, that sort of Western style fried potato, that is good. This is much better than I expected actually, so good job Anthony Bourdain. Highly recommended if you do come here. Really, really, really good. We've come to our final stop of this Anthony Bourdain food tour, and in his TV show Parts Unknown, he came to this shop right here. This is Sabar Menanti 2, located in the Kampung Glam area. Now this store is gonna move down the street starting at the end of July 2020. So if you want to find this place, it will be at a different address. So the address I am providing now is probably inaccurate. What Anthony Bourdain tried here was a dish known as lontong. And what is lontong? Lontong is essentially like a bunch of rice cakes put in like this coconut gravy, and it's topped off with like vegetables, egg, tofu, a lot of different ingredients. As you can see here, you can see the rice cakes, but then you can also see that they put some crispy little shrimps, I think, and also some chili sauce. But what I gotta go in first, I can't describe to you how strong this coconut smell is. So first thing we gotta go in for, I'm just gonna try the soup and see how it tastes. That's so good. You get like the spiciness. You taste like all the spices that go inside. You can taste a little bit of like some herbs, chili isn't that, it's not overpowering. It's not very, very spicy. In fact, I would say it's, if you just look at how, when you use a spoon and scoop up the soup, it's quite watery. But the flavor is incredible. It's almost like laksa minus the spice. It's the best way I can describe it. But what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna get the rice cake and to give it a try. The rice cake is like a big sponge. It sucks up all of that soup. It doesn't explode, it's rather starchy. So it's a little bit sticky when you bite into it, but the broth gets absorbed into that rice cake. So essentially it becomes a little bit of a sponge. What I'm really excited for, on the very top, you can see there's this big piece of tofu. Now that's a real sponge that hopefully will explode. So let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, their tofu isn't very silky. It's also not very spongy. It's like a mix. It's actually relatively solid, so it doesn't explode like a sponge. What I'm excited about is a chili that you can see that they put on the side. I'm gonna mix that chili in the broth because this isn't really that spicy, to be completely honest. And with that chili, let's see how it tastes like. Okay, now we're talking. That's where the spice is. The chili sauce is actually a bit sweet. It's not really that spicy, but that definitely does give it a new flavor profile. It's like a sweet, spicy chili. I really like this chili. But as you can tell, it's not only just the tofu and the rice cakes that I'm showing. They also have vegetables. They have some little like shrimpies. But the main thing about lontong is, of course, the rice cake on the bottom. Without that, that's not really lontong. But I have to say, this is a really, really good dish. Especially in this store here. It's one of the most famous stalls here in Kampung Glam. They don't only sell lontong, they can sell other items, especially like nasi padang. So if you want to come, you can come here and try all the other dishes they offer. It's been around for a really long time, so they know what they're doing. And obviously, Anthony Bourdain also knew what they were doing as well. What an amazing food day today. Everything was just so good, and I have to say, I mean, I'm one of the biggest fans of Anthony Bourdain. I mentioned him so much on this channel, and it's for a good reason. The foods we ate today were really good, super flavorful. I love the prawn noodles, especially. If you get the chance, definitely go for the prawn noodles. That was really good. In fact, I would say most of the things today were absolutely delicious items that would probably be one of the best things you could get when you're here in Singapore. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. Today has been an absolutely delicious day full of tons and tons of really good food. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.